Hey guys, welcome to Loaded Potatoes.
What's up?
On another fun episode here, we have Danielle from HangryHoustonian.
How's it going?
So
Thanks for
excited.
being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
We finally
me.
made it work.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love
You're
y'all.
a busy girl. Popular girl, busy girl. I was like, and we love that for you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah,
Busy,
thanks for
busy
having me on,
schedule.
guys. I'm honored. Y'all are the best.
Oh, thanks
We
for
try to
coming.
be.
Y'all are. Legit.
So humble.
I am humble. I said we try. I didn't say we are.
True that.
So what's hot right now? We're talking about everything social media. You know, I was like, social media is a huge part of our industry now. You know, I was like, people
Life,
really in general. I mean,
Mhm.
people are totally zoned in everything, TikTok, Reels, Instagram, all the above and everything. And
Yeah.
we really want to get an insight of like how it actually affects the restaurant world. Because we know we have personal experience with that.
Yeah.
Too.
And I think from like your side of things, just like how things kind of come about, or do you work with people that you just like genuinely care about, or I think also I feel like now with your platform just being so well known, I'm sure you're just getting like you're just like you're like, who do I say? And you have to say no to some people.
Sure,
like you
sure.
can't say yes to everything. So that's why I was
because we get hit up a lot actually
Mhm.
from influencers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and people who do this as a part-time job and everything. And unfortunately, like we can't say yes to all these influencers, you know, and I feel bad, especially like if this is their bread and butter. You know what I mean? I was like, but I just don't have the $800 or whatever you're charging for me to pay for you to come in. You know, I was like, and in all honesty, we took a stance right at the beginning that we said that we prefer not to have influencer here at nighttime because it can be disruptive.
Yeah.
You know, with the lighting, the people, and like what they need from us and everything. But we have worked with other ones that just made a lot more sense for us.
Mhm.
You know, I was like, and so how do you really like cut out like who do you say yes to and who do you say no to, or like do people still come to you?
Yeah, so basically how it works is I'll either get an email or I'll get DMs from either restaurants or bar programs, brands, and I'll sift through them and see if they're a restaurant that I would want to go to. And then like even like yesterday, there's a new coffee shop in Montrose that I was like, they didn't reach out to me. I have no sort of communication with them. I just wanted to try it out. I live in Montrose and I was like, oh, this place looks cool. Like I think that my followers, my community would like this. Like I think it would be good content for them. And so I went out, paid my like $9, $10 for a coffee, whatever. And I was like, I think this would be good content. I just like shot some like quick videos and stuff. Now, when it is a client, like I always obviously try to make sure that like the video is a little bit more professional and there's like more attention to detail. I'm telling their story more so than just like me going in to like get like a quick video and stuff. So if you see videos on my page that are like a little bit shorter, maybe don't have like as much like attention to detail. Yeah, exactly. Info. Then you're like, maybe that was just like her going on a whim, because it probably was. Now, if it's a restaurant that has invited me out and, you know, they're comping my bill and stuff like that, I also want to make sure that like it's fair for them too, right? Like I understand that like margins are so slim in the restaurant industry that like I want to be respectful. And I hope that any influencer content creator that's watching this right now is also respectful of that, because I know that margins are so small. So if you're being invited out by a restaurant, to make sure that you're putting in that effort to give them a good quality product back and stuff. So yeah, restaurants are reaching out to me. And if you're reaching out to me, I mean, again, this is my full-time job. So if you're reaching out to me, I'm typically going to charge you. And then if I'm reaching out to you, there's sometimes I'll see a restaurant that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would love to go to that place, but I'm not going to charge you. If it's me reaching out to you, I'm not going to charge you. That is my prerogative to go after y'all to try to highlight. But yeah, so if you're reaching out to me, you're looking for marketing, you would pay somebody in PR, or you would pay a marketing agent to be able to, you know, advertise on TV or radio. This is the same thing. For me, I don't absorb any sort of media via TV or radio anymore. All I do is scroll on my phone. And that's what it is these days. People are scrolling on Instagram, they're scrolling on TikTok to see what's new and what's happening. So I know that there is an importance there, right?
There's a value to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
So, I was like, what if you go and then you like don't like it?
I had done that before. There's been a
What
few
happens?
times. Yeah. And I just say, hey, look, I will never talk bad about a restaurant. I think that is so important. I do not agree with people that go in and talk ill about restaurants because everyone's taste is subjective.
Yeah.
I'm from South Louisiana. Okay. Like what I like is not what everybody likes. And I respect that. Right. Like I didn't grow up eating certain things and you might not have eaten certain things that I've eaten growing up, right? Like I mean, down in the bayou. Exactly. Yeah.
Like boudin's not my thing.
Oh my God. Whereas boudin is like my lifeline. If I'm on death row, like you better have a piece of boudin for me.
It's not for me.
It is literally 3 pounds of crawfish, piece of boudin, and a piece of king cake, death row meal, like bar none. But
see that?
Yeah, exactly. It's different. So no, I'm like, I always try to be respectful and say, this wasn't in my wheelhouse of flavor profile, and I'm sure somebody else will love it. And I appreciate that. But for me, that I don't think that this aligns with what my page is. And I think that we just kind of go our separate ways with it. And I try to be very respectful. And I also try to understand that like, I'm not a food critic. Okay. Like I am not a food critic. I am not Eric Sandler. I am not one of those people that are going to go out and like know exactly what I'm eating. I just know what I like.
Yeah.
And I know that like what people in the community want to see that's fun and what's happening and this and that. Like that's what my page is about. Like what's cool and what's happening in the city. I'm not there saying, well, on their green curry, the spice was very delightful. I'm like, I love that green curry. It slaps. Like, okay, Danielle's so eloquent with her like review. No, like,
it's real.
But it's not a
Yeah,
review.
no, it's real.
You're just showcasing
I'm just showcasing the new and cool and what's happening in the city. I don't want people to think like, oh, she is like pinky up, knows what she's talking about, because I don't. Okay. I don't. And I think there's like a beauty in that. I'm just showcasing the things that I like, and what's cool and happening in the city.
Yeah. And it's also Houston. There's so much going on.
Yeah. And there's so much going on. And like people will say like, well, I don't see you, highlighting the same restaurant like multiple times. I'm like, well, that's because there's so many new things opening that like, it's hard for me to get back
even
to
go
place.
back around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like you said, you're not a food critic, so you also don't have to go back.
Right.
Because like food, that's what food critics do. They go back multiple times with different people, like a solo diner, like 2 diners.
Have a different experience.
So they have a different experience to make sure that what they write about is exactly the experience that anyone walk in. I think it's really cool that you say that you're not a food critic. And I was like, there's a lot of people, just people in general, not influencers, just people in general, do weaponize that, towards restaurants where they're like, oh, I'm a foodie. And so therefore I'm going to go out and I know exactly, this is bad. I was like, yeah, it might be bad for you, but it could have been executed perfectly, but just not your taste.
Right. And also like, I very much so understand and appreciate the fact that like what's going on in the kitchen, like, y'all might have had a bad day or something the orders might have been like a little bit wrong or something. You might have gotten like a weird piece of meat or something like that. Like, I understand that. Like
something outside of your power.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, you have to like be respectful of that, right? Like as a whole, restaurants are putting out, trying to put out their best foot forward and trying to put out their best effort and stuff. So for somebody to come in and put in their 2 cents that they think they're high and mighty, I just like don't necessarily think that agree with that. I'm just like, be nice to everybody.
I think you have a cool perspective too, is because you say your dad was in this industry too, right?
Yes, yeah. I
think that's why you're being a lot more thoughtful. Than most.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I grew up with my dad owning restaurants. My dad's a restaurant attorney, but he's also owned restaurants my entire life. And like after school, I was laughing the other day with him because I saw a biscotti, and I like remember so vividly after school every day I would go sit at the barista counter, and they would give me a biscotti to eat after school. And so like I grew up, that was my aftercare, like going there to
the restaurant.
Exactly, at the restaurant, right? And then like I saw my dad's restaurant succeed, and I also saw them fail. One of his restaurants went under. And so like I very much so understand what it means to be a family of a restaurateur, right? And it's a lot. And so when people like, say influencers, this and that, like there's a total connotation with influencers. And I very much so want to also change that narrative too, because I think that there is so much good that can come with influencers, but there's also an entitlement, of course, that comes with anybody that, can get something for free. But I hope that, when people come to my page, they like learn a little bit more about my story and know that like I actually come from a good place, and like I want to see the restaurant industry and, the bar industry succeed and power on.
Yeah.
I think that level of entitlement goes beyond than just influencers. I think influencers get a bad rep is because their work is so, forward. like out there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the reason for their work is to be,
Yeah.
you know, visible and everything. Where that sense of entitlement comes in all different shapes and sizes and professions and stuff like that. There are people who roll in here who think they're, you know, a lot better than us is because we're in this service industry and will talk down to me. You know, I was like, which is always so funny is because before I was on Top Chef, you know, like I was a host of June. And now that like I was on a show and have some notoriety, and now everyone's just like, oh my God, like, well, I was like, no, I'm still the host of June. You know, I'm still doing it. Still doing it. I'm still paying the bills.
So like silver sparkling.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still taking that plate away from you. I'm wiping your table. Yes, it is I. It was on TV, and I'm wiping your table down.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I was like, because we love this business. I was like,
Yeah.
I got there
a lot
because
of
of the
hats.
work I did here. You know, and I'm not going to stop what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And just like, I feel like people kind of, and I think, you know, and it's just like that line, right? Social media is really good and then it's really shitty sometimes and it just kind of blurs all the lines. But knowing that at the end of the day, it's like we're in the hospitality industry. Our goal is to make you happy in our space. And then for us to showcase not only our story or our version of art through food, but to create like a memory, right? For you to have a good time in the space. So it's always like, it's hard to maybe not only just for us actively do that, but then for people to just like accept it, right? And then just be like, yeah, I'm just here to have a good time.
And that's
and I'm like, don't forget that.
That's
don't
how
forget
I feel
that
about
part.
like when people are on my page. I'm like, if you don't like it, like you don't have to follow me. That's fine. Like I have
one of these.
Exactly. Like, and then, you know, somebody will, you know, I did a deal with McDonald's the other day and they're like, well, I'm unfollowing you.
What?
You know, you should be just posting about Houston restaurants. Like you're a sellout and I'm unfollowing you. And I was like, this is not an airport. You do not need to announce your exit. Okay. Like see ya later. Okay. I'm like, okay, I ride for McDonald's. I'm like a crispy Diet Coke and some fries. Like, see you later.
I literally just ordered McDonald's for the whole staff the other day.
He did.
I was like, McDonald's, everyone?
McDonald's sponsor them.
I know. I was like, McDonald's, everyone? Everyone's like, yes, McFlurry, please. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then, well, another part I just want to touch quickly is that I do really enjoy that. Aside from using your platform to showcase Houston, what's happening and all the hot stuff, because thankfully we live in a very active city and there's always so much stuff going on. But also you do so much for just different organizations and communities that matter to you. And I think that's really cool. Because you're not like, thankfully this pays your bills, but then also you're, you know, you have this platform and you're not kind of wasting it.
Yeah,
I feel like,
absolutely.
Which, you know, there's so much happening all the time. And it's like, yeah, I want to stay on top of it and I want to stay, ahead and like what's hot and what's new, but also kind of grounding yourself and being like, okay, also all this other stuff is happening and I need to kind of shine a light on it, which I really appreciate and I really enjoy. And once I met you and of course through the food scene, and I was like, oh no, she's like a genuinely cool and sweet person that genuinely cares. So it makes everything, I feel like that's why your platform and your stuff really shines even more because you can genuinely tell that. It's not like
people connect.
She's not just trying
and I think that's
do some likes and
like,
whatnot.
I don't want to be a page that people just, you know, think, oh, HangryHoustonian, just restaurants and what's cool and happening in the city. Like I want people to feel like they can come to my page and like see things about organizations and how to give back in the community and how to get involved. Like to those much is given, much is expected. And that's one of my favorite like verses that I like have always like held my head on. And so I think that I have been given this platform, like why not use it for good? You know, that's how I was raised. And I just really feel like I have this opportunity to really give back to Houston. It's obviously has given me so much. I'm so grateful for this platform. Like I am so grateful truly to be able to do what I love every single day. Like this is, it's so fun for me. I feel like I don't ever work because I'm like, this is fun, right?
Yeah.
But I also know there's like a responsibility that comes with it too, right? There's a responsibility to tell people what's going on in the city, you know, like with the freeze coming this weekend and stuff. Like I want to make sure people are safe and people, you know, have the resources that they need to be able to connect to people. And it was really after the first freeze that I really felt it because I had really gotten some traction with the page. This was in 2021. And
we shall never forget.
And so that was when I was able to like put out lists on like what restaurants were open and well, I guess also COVID too, when restaurants were open, but the freeze felt like more like a dangerous situation of like people needed those, like that information immediately. What grocery stores were open? Because
we were just so unprepared.
And I felt like
we're not ready for that.
And people,
are we so prepared or not?
I know, right? Yeah, literally. But people were looking to me because they knew that I could like connect the dots. And I had people reaching out to me to give me information on what places were open. And I was like, man, like I have been blessed to be able to have this platform. Like I got to use it for good.
Yeah.
And whatever that way that looks like, whether it's through Sky High for Kids or whether it's, you know, working with Chris Shepard with Southern Smoke, you know, there's so many avenues to be able to help. And like, I want to get more involved and help as much as I can, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that's the most beautiful thing about your page too. Not only are you sharing authentically like what you like, what's going on in this community and everything, but you also talk about a lot of personal things, like your MS journey right now that's going on, and just a lot more awareness, you know what I mean? And so like that's what I gravitate towards, you know, like it's just very authentic, and I do just thoroughly like it's on replay sometimes. And I was like, you know, I like to hear what you're saying, you know, and I remember you had that drone footage of it, and it's like these are people get information now through TikTok, through Reels, through, you know, social media and everything, and it's very comforting to be able to get you know, accurate information.
Well, I think that like Instagram is such a highlight reel, right? Like people see like the
I'm not
beautiful
gonna show you
stuff.
the shitty stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I
Everyone
show
wants
you
to
this?
show you the
I'm not going to show you the
good
shitty stuff like you said. Like I want to show you all the good and the wonderful things. And like my life looks so glamorous of going to these restaurants and doing these things. But like I also want people to know that like, hey, like she struggles. Like she's real. Like she has medical shit that she goes through. Like I'm a professional patient, you know, like MS isn't fun, but like I'm doing great, you know, and I want to show people what MS looks like in 2026, right? And what it's going to look like in the future. And for me, that's so powerful to have a platform to be able to show people, you know, I mean, with a, national championship this past week and the quarterback and his mom that has MS and people Googling, you know, why is his mom in a wheelchair? You know, what is MS or what is multiple sclerosis? And for me to be able to say, okay, well, I actually also have this. And like, bless her heart. Like I'm not going to be in a wheelchair one day. Like I'm so grateful that the medicine has evolved since she was diagnosed, you know, 15 years ago, I think it is. And so I'm not going to have that same situation, but I want people to learn my story and I want people to know her story as well, you know? And I think that speaking up about it is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it is social media is a highlight reel of everything.
Sure. Of course.
So you would just kind of like throw it in there. You're like, oh, there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, and I'm like a pretty self-deprecating person, so I like to kind of like, you know, throw shit at myself a little bit. But I think that like makes it real. I'm like, I don't want people to be like, oh yeah, she thinks she's like high and mighty because she has a platform. Like, no, dog. Like, you know, if you know me, like, you know that like I literally just think that like God has given me this platform. I want to be able to use it for good, and I have stuff in my life, and I want to share that as well.
Well, yeah, but thank you so much for sharing all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also just like being afraid to share it.
Yeah, definitely.
So really quickly,
oh God,
moving on, you know, nice little segue, natural and everything. So we read reviews, 1-star anonymous reviews. You will never know where the place is. I kind of forget sometimes when I look these up, so don't ask me either.
I don't know.
And then we just dissect it, you know? So this review, 1-star review, 12 hours to deliver, ? I completely understand the length of delivery service, but on the website I see it says text and see. I text to deliver to my workplace and it never came.
Wait, what?
12 hours to deliver.
So, well, I mean, like we have
like DoorDash or something.
Well, we have.
Do they grow the food?
Yeah,
I mean, like
they farm the food.
They farm.
But like we have a like catering service too, right?
Okay.
And that we need 24-hour notice.
Okay.
Before, and I think that's what they're something along those lines. Like they're trying to cater something, you know. But then now with the whole idea of like DoorDash and Uber Eats and everything, it's like 12 hours. You know, like I get my thing in like 5 minutes.
Oh, they're just questioning why you would need a 12-hour like to pre-order.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe they just don't understand that. It's just like, you know, some restaurants don't have things on hand like that.
Yeah.
You know, especially like if you're doing a bulk order, you know, like like you were talking earlier, like margin is really thin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're, you know, so if we're expecting a regular week, you know, we bring exactly what we need and everything. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you throw in a delivery thing, throw a wrench into it. It's like, now I need to bring something a little extra. So I do need notice. Because here in Houston, you can't get everything every day, which is what I've learned from wholesale vendors.
Yeah.
A lot of them only deliver once a week. Whereas like coming from New York, I was getting everything every
Well, they
day.
just have very big minimums.
Yeah.
Right. So it just makes sense that we would get things once a week, or like right in the middle of the week or in the beginning of the week, because we won't meet that minimum twice a week. Right. So it's just like, and in New York, I think just because it's very small and compact, even if they go on a run, they're hitting 10 people, right? Instead of just coming this one way to deliver this one delivery in Houston. And also, we're just huge. It's just like one delivery here, one delivery over there. Okay, so yeah, that's weird. So I think it's just them not understanding that you just have to pre-order with time ahead. And I think probably, having those apps of like DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that stuff, just kind of maybe makes you forget that they're like, especially if it's a smaller business, it's not like we're just pumping out thousands of whatever, sandwiches or whatever it might be. But so this was a 1-star review, and then they just never ordered. They just did that.
A lot of times people don't, like, you get that one bad experience. And
they don't even experience. Well, they didn't even experience it.
That is probably. You should have like looked to see how many other 1-star reviews this person has.
She's like, I want digging.
Literally,
you go into their page and see what they did.
People that are like keyboard warriors, I'm like, what do you go touch grass, please? Like, literally.
Go figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
out of your
okay.
control.
Well, yeah, and it's upsetting when you read these kind of reviews because they never even experienced it.
Yeah.
So what are you actually rating
on? Like, it's not.
And also just like, okay, if that is an issue, it's like, you could email, right? And just be like, hey, I'm just wondering, like, does it have to be a 12-hour, or, can I reach out to you? What's the soonest? Can I come pick it up? Like, there's just so many other, I guess, ways to communicate with that business without actually, because like reviews, when you do the 1-star, whatever, they are hurtful. They are harmful to your how you look on Google and Yelp and all that stuff. And there's people that don't even read it and then be like, well, I don't go to anything, 4 stars, below 4 stars or whatever. Yeah. So, Henry 3.
No, I was gonna say like 3.5 or something.
Okay. Yeah. So. It just sucks that it goes that way and they don't want to go any further. And if you did want to like support, then like there's other ways to reach out and figure that out.
I just feel like the 1-star reviews and stuff, like it just sets so long lasting. Like, you can't go in and like necessarily change that. And it's like, it affects the restaurant, like you said. It's just not fair. I don't know. I'm just like,
even if something was,
I think we should like abolish that. I don't love it. Like, I don't love it because I think it's, people these days are just have their own thoughts and opinions that are not necessarily relevant to like other people. And I just think that it just doesn't always obviously benefit the restaurant and highlight the restaurant in the best way. So.
For sure. And it's also funny, like, how did we go from a telephone book to reviews? Riddle me this.
I remember in big like elementary school or middle school, we had like a telephone book like class one day to like learn how to like even use a telephone book.
Really?
Yes, we had to like learn how to like go through it. Yeah,
we're the same age.
I know. Wait,
I remember this.
No, I mean, this was like a long ass time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I remember them being delivered. Yeah, and like just being like a chunk. They outside your door, and you're like,
they like wanted us to know about like just like how to like use it. I mean, it was just like one day. It wasn't like an entire class. I'm not that old, I promise.
You're like, what?
Oh my gosh.
No,
I'm 35.
Oh, I'm older.
Oh.
Like, we're the same age.
I knew you were younger.
I know. It's fine.
We're around the same age.
Botox. I know.
I need Botox.
We're around the same age. It's not too far. But
I mean,
it's the Asian genes, really.
Literally God's favorite.
I know.
I've said it in my past life. I swear. Literally, my favorite food, Asian food, past life. I swear.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know. It's so not fair. Not fair.
Umami, MSG.
MSG.
The whole just episode on MSG.
But thank you, Danielle.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate
so much fun.
Catch us next time in our little BMW podcast. This spacious car.
We'll see you next time.
Make my heart go boom boom.
Wow, that's how we're leaving it.
I'm like, what's up?
Okay, bye. Yeah, you're like, that's a wrap. She's just really, really ending this one.
Bye.